Oh man, what is up, everybody? Your boy Forte here. I got a special guest with me. Oh man, people been asking like crazy, like when you're gonna do the next one. So, Slomo, what you want to say to those people?
Whoa, hold up.
So Slomo is messing up his computer.
Yo, my bad. uh,
Technical difficulty on
yeah,
Slomo side again today.
it is sad because I'm not even running the show, and I'm the one with the technical difficulties.
Oh Lord,
I was trying to mute it, and I ended up muting something else, and then
yourself.
yeah, pretty much. I don't know what's going
This
on
is
there.
what happens when
This is what happens when you've been messing around with kids for like forever.
absolutely.
But yeah. I'm doing good. How are you? How about you, sir?
Man, rough weekend. I haven't really played. I haven't. Truth be honest, I barely played games this week. It's been one of those weeks. I was off the last 2 days. Today, you already know about the GPU incident, which I guess I'll touch on at some point.
Mhm.
Yesterday was just one of those days that I just didn't want to do anything. So it's just been a weird week for me. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, personally, it's been good. Kids has been good. Wife has been good. Cleaning the house a lot. That's kind of what you do when you don't play games.
Right. I mean, I could say things have been well. Things have been good. I haven't normally had too many complaints. Work has been pretty laid back. A little bit busy today. Definitely gonna be super busy tomorrow. But for the most part, I am enjoying not having to drive an hour and 15 minutes one way
Mm.
to work, and another hour and a half to 2 hours on the way home, because the DMV traffic is absolutely terrible. So yeah, you know how things are with that. It's
Yeah. Are you guys still in the lockdown? Like some type of lockdown, or are you guys open?
We are technically okay. So Maryland is in phase two. Now I live in Maryland, but I work in Virginia, and Virginia is still in Northern Virginia. I believe is still in phase one. But so essentially, although I could actually go to work if my office was in Maryland, I don't think I can in Virginia. Nor is my company really trying to open up like that right now. Like no one has said anything about going back into the office. Although there are a couple who do go in there, but everyone's like, bump that. Stay at home, work from home. Everyone's being professional about it, getting their work done. No one is slacking, even though everybody's watching Netflix while they work. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. So you haven't been back to the office since when was the last time you were actually there?
March.
Ooh, geez, you probably forgot what it looked like.
Oh no! I've been working there for 6 years. I can't forget what it looked like. Although I kind of miss going there because I miss being able to communicate with my staff face to face. I also, just because things are easier when you can do that, and then
Mhm.
I also miss just not being interrupted by kids while you're working.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a
Yeah.
thing. I don't know. Well, see, you lucky you don't work with me because I'm one of those people that like literally the day before everybody comes back, I find a way into the office and I like literally put stuff on everybody's chairs and let it just it'd be like this musical chair thing. Like so the person that I know has a favorite chair, I'll take his chair and move it to somebody else's. So when he comes in and sits down, like this ain't my damn chair. What happened to my chair?
Dude,
Oh yeah.
I used to pull the best pranks. Like, okay, all right. So look, we had this intern, and I know it's gonna sound real bad that I was picking on the intern, but he started it. So because he started it, he gets that work. So this intern, he used to have one of his duties was to take all the boxes from all of our like IT equipment, like a big router, a big server comes in a huge box. He's supposed to take it into the warehouse so it can be thrown away. And sometimes he just wasn't on his P's and Q's with stuff. I see a box lying around, I put it on his desk. Not trying to be mean about it, but I'm just trying to be helpful. One day he got upset at me. It was like, man, stop putting all this stuff on my desk. And I was like, intern? Okay. So he went on vacation, which really wasn't vacation because he wasn't paid vacation. Let me stop.
Right.
It was vacation. But he went on vacation for a week. Every little box I found in the office, I put on his desk.
Oh.
Got to the point where like you couldn't even see his desk anymore. It was just like this big empty box igloo that just was covering his entire desk. It was amazing. And I had to be there. I got to work extra early. So I knew that I was there when he got to work, when his first day back after vacation, so I could see his face when he saw his desk. And it was a classic. I took a picture of it. It was awesome.
Oh man.
And all them boxes, he had to take them into the warehouse. Loved it. I know that seems bad, like Slow-Mo's a bully. I'm not. I just treated that guy like that. That's all. But yeah,
I had a problem. Yo,
you got super chat, man.
Yeah, no. Shout out to Tipp's son, man. Thanks for the $5 super chat, bro. Hey, dudes. Put it on the screen. I gotta be like Luca. Hey, dudes. That Halo teaser has me shook. So excited, bro. You don't realize we literally talked about that on Primetime Gaming on Monday with Boom, and that was the one thing that I said at the very end. I was like, listen, if they want Halo to be great, they got to bring the Banish and they got to bring Atriox over to the main line. This is the perfect opportunity because they are sumo kind of rebooting the game a little bit, at least on a technical side. So, and the fact that every Halo ring can be a new adventure, and the Arc is out there making new rings and crap like that. So it's all types of stuff going on in the Halo games. So we're going to definitely dive into that. So thank you for that. Gregor Von Doom, hashtag kill Master Chief. Come on, man. Don't be like Brap up in here, man. Why everybody want to kill Master Chief, Slomo?
Because they don't like it. Look. Here, let's be real about Master Chief for a second. He's very. We always talk about how Halo is archaic in general because it's like the gameplay loop is older. Like games don't really come out like that no more that are like Halo. But the Master Chief is also kind of outdated. He's your everyman. You can't see his face. He does have a voice. Let's give him that. Some of these other characters don't have voices, but you know how like in Chrono Trigger, Chrono doesn't have a voice, don't say nothing, it's because they don't want the character to do or say anything that the player can no longer say, "Oh, that's me." So they kind of had this idea of like, hey, Master Chief is everyone. That's why you're never going to see his face. And so in order to do that, you gotta make him really bland and basic, and so that if he doesn't have any personality, there's no way for any other people who may not like his personality to then not like the game. And so a lot of developers have been getting away from that because it's just boring. And if you're going to have a personality. People either going to love it or they're not. So that's why people want to kill Master Chief, I think, because what is he's always winning, and he always beats the Covenant, and then he always says a nice little one-liner, but it's just like he's just boring, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Michael. What's up, Michael? What's up? Def Floyd. What's up? Gregor is just talking more mess because he's discount Doom guy. Okay. Okay.
If you look at his the Mojnar armor, I'm probably saying that wrong. I don't care. Majority. The armor, yeah, his armor is very similar to what Doom guy looks like, especially in the helmet. But
you didn't know what Doom guy truly looked like until after Halo, though.
Like Doom guy don't really got a lot of personality either. But
Doom guy don't even talk.
Exactly. At least you get more of that.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. As much as people give Master Chief, give him the flux, at least he does have a voice. You may not like his voice and the things he has to say. I just think that overall, Master Chief it's like they straddle a line that most games don't do. They either don't give you a voice and they make you the protagonist by it projecting yourself into that character, or they give you a voice and you know everything, like how Nathan Drake is, how like Joel is in Last of Us, or even like how Dom and Marcus Phoenix and Kate and them are in Gears of War. They have personalities, they have a face. You could probably identify with those characters based on the situations they went through in their stories or the things that they actually had happen to them. But it ultimately just comes down to how you enjoy the game and play it. I've always looked at Master Chief as this ambiguous thing that everybody just tried to want to be like when it came to the way that they played the game or interacted with the game and stuff like that. But they come real close more than once in showing who Master Chief is. I mean, when I mean real close, they take a cutscene at the end, and like one of them, he's sitting in a Pelican, and then they just zoom out ever so slightly as his helmet's coming off. You see it sitting on the desk, and then in the other one, you see him literally getting the armor taken off of, and he literally sits the helmet down. I'm like, dude, y'all just keep tempting fate with people not seeing who this man's face is.
They're never going to show his face. They're
just
it's just teasing. They're never going to show his face. Although, if you read the books, and here's my nerd hat on. Let me get my nerd hat for a second. All right, I got my nerd hat on.
Hustle and Motivate. Thanks for coming through, bro.
Oh yeah, what's up, bro? If you read the books, you read the very first Halo novel. I think it was called First Strike.
The first one. You talk about
no. The first one was, huh?
Chronological order, or
yes, in that order where it talks about how they recruited the kids that became the Spartan 2s, how they did all that. When they got him, they saw him in the playground, like basically single-handedly beating all these other kids in every single game they were playing, and they described him as essentially like your typical male white child.
Well, that was Fallen Reach. The Fall of Reach. That was that one.
I don't think that was that one. I think that was First Strike.
Nope, Fall of Reach was the first one where they were you talk about when they went through the training, when they were training all of them, and they did like King of the Hill, and he was all the way at the one at the very top of the hill.
That was Fall of Reach.
That was Fall of Reach.
All right. Well, I mean,
because Fall of Reach goes into the whole backstory of Master Chief. Like it doesn't just tell you the story of what happened at Reach. It literally goes back and tells you how they were literally stolen like thieves in the night out of their homes and stuff like that, and they were taking remote planets.
Yeah. See, I think I'm kind of conflating multiple books because I read they were all written by I think Eric Nyland.
Yep, Nyland. Yep.
And I remember him and all of them. I think it was like about 200 of them. They basically kidnapped and then they cloned them, clone replacements of them, and then put those replacements in place, knowing that they were kind of designed to fail. They would just get sick after a short period of time and then just die. And so that as far as the parents knew that their child just died for some unknown disease or reason they don't know, but really their child was being, turned into the super soldier. But which was, I mean, it was wild, like all the other stuff in them, like getting the drugs and then half of them getting some kind of like evolutionary defect or something like that from the drug and not being able to continue on. But I thought that was all in First Strike, but I can't. Maybe First Strike was the retelling of Halo Combat Evolved.
I think it was, matter of fact. Yeah, it's been so like Fall of Reach is my favorite one. That's why I kind of remember like every little small detail about that book, because I probably read it over 9 times. That's where my true love for the game came from. It's just the backstory. But overall, man, so that new trailer, it did drop today. We had these people waiting long enough to give our thoughts on that trailer.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts when you finally finished that 1 minute and 12-second trailer?
Well, before I do that, I want to just shout out the Forte people watching right now. We really appreciate you guys. And Dr. Sirakis, I think I said that right. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you really enjoying our thoughts. I wouldn't really say this like adversarially against BRAP or anything. Like we enjoy being on BRAP. We enjoy the BRAP crew. It's just also, I think this is a good. And Forte may agree. This is a good way kind of for us to get our thoughts out on things and talk about stuff and not like dominate the conversation on BRAP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, because I think the one thing is when you're on a podcast with 5 people, unless you are you don't want to be that guy that's going to keep everybody there with your thoughts for like longer than the 2 hours you're already there. It's a simple fact that everybody wants to get a chance to speak their opinion. Sometimes we have way more than we want to say that we don't say on podcasts just because we want to respect the time of other people. And it's a lot easier to do that when you're in a show with just either yourself or just one other person, just to go back and forth to bounce the conversation off of. So yeah, this
Yeah,
is
Forte, you're gonna need to like start modding people too. Just letting you know.
Oh, I didn't mod anybody yet.
Yeah, the same crap you gave me last week. Like, I'm not mod. Okay, I need to be number one. Me mod.
Have you typed anything in?
I just did.
I see.
There you go.
There,
you know, you got Hustle in here.
Wait, hold
you got
on. Wait,
Gregor in here. You got Luca in here. You got Taz in here.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I got to give Taz one because Taz is Mr. Block. Taz, I'm giving you this power. Taz, I'm giving you this power, bro. Listen, this ain't Twitter. We ain't blocking everybody just to block them, just so you don't have to hear what they got to say.
Oh man, Gregor said, Luca, I bet Forte doesn't use his 360 mic on his channel. Let's bring that to the test. Forte, which mic are you using right now?
My Shure SM7B.
Oh, how much you pay for that?
$400.
Exactly. Thank you. I knew it. But yeah, my thoughts on the Halo Infinite trailer. So at first, when I first saw it, it was retweeted by someone. I can't remember who it was retweeted by. Somebody that I usually follow, and I get their notifications. They always drop in like big nuggets of news first. And I saw it, and I was like, "Yo, what's going on?" Because I saw it was the Halo Twitter account. Then I started listening to it, and I heard the voice, and I was immediately like, Atriox, here we go. Because I knew so many people were like, this is like the really only good antagonist in Halo. If you think about all the other Halo stories, there's the Master Chief. There's just like your antagonist is the Covenant, is the Flood. It's all of it. It's not like one singular dude that's just a badass. No, you don't have that. And so that's who Atriox is. Like the people who have played Halo Wars 1 and 2, they enjoy. Well, 2, but I'm with 2. Yeah,
more than 1. Yeah.
They enjoy his personality, his character, how powerful he is. Him just backhanding Spartans left and right in the beginning. It's just that's the kind of dude people be like, yeah, we need to see him go up against the Chief. And so now this is like for once, let's get a real antagonist in here for the Chief to go against. And I think like this is a good challenge. It's going to be pretty good. I think I like the idea of it. I still don't know about 343 and executing it, which is why I kind of feel like I'm excited for it, but I still need to see more, you know?
Yeah, I think, and the thing I like about the trailer the most, it left open a huge part of the Banished that people still are asking questions. Is going to probably be even more questions due. You didn't hear Atriox. You heard someone else speaking, and they're talking about the Banished and the way he was talking about how the Banished was, how they are his people and everything like that. They were talking like he was in like not here anymore or anything like that. It was kind of like,
well, you mean like dead? Because
yeah, well, the way that it's like the way that they were, I can't remember exactly the statement that they said at the end where he was talking about, we are part of him. We are part of him. It's based like they were talking like he wasn't there, like either lost or they're still trying to find him or something. I just think the fact that it wasn't Atriox that delivered that message over the comm that they intercepted makes it interesting to the point like we know the Banish is going to be there, but now the conversation is going to be where's Atriox? Like,
I think he will be there.
He will be there.
I think that's even cooler that it wasn't really him delivering the message.
Exactly.
It's just kind of like here's the messenger, here's the scout. This is what's going down. You know, like we about to get in y'all real quick. We warning you ahead of time what's about to happen. Like I like that. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think
all this hype though, like I do have to harken back to Halo Guardians.
Here we go.
Where we had a very, very good podcast that was amazing, like done so well. 2 seasons of it, right?
Yep.
We had all this hype and marketing. They did a freaking movie for Boring Lock. All of this hype, and then they gave us nothing. And so I'm just kind of like, please don't let this be the marketing hype train.
Oh man,
where the game like my Xbox game studios out there like Halo Infinite about to be the best thing you ever seen, and 343 over the corner like, hey, shh, why you telling them that? we ain't got all that here. What are you talking about? Like, I don't want it to be like that. Like, I need 343 to step up to the plate, deliver the same level of hype that everyone else is getting off of what the marketing is showing us.
Oh man, so once again, I said this on prime time. So shout out to Tippett Son and the rest of the crew over there. I was down. When they they were excited for the news of what Halo was going to be, talking about Game of the Year version. It's going to be like a Game of the Year contender like God of War was, and I had to pump my brakes on that because I'm like, dude, wait, God of War was my game of the generation. Like, for me to come out and say Halo can be that, they got to give me a coherent game along with the game actually being good on both fronts and not just part of the game being good. And I told him, I was like, listen, this is a hard decision for me because I love Halo. If they give me a Halo that really speaks to what that game and that franchise needs to be, Destiny's in the bushes, at least for a while, because that's all I really want. That's why.
What is a wild for you?
Okay, so let's see. New DLC comes out in September. Halo is probably roughly now. If Halo comes out with the Series X in late September, early October, that's rough.
Stop.
Oh, okay.
You're still on this
I'm living on this whole September thing. That thing is coming in some point in September.
First off, Destiny always except
Halo?
for last year. Except for last year. Destiny always drops there early September.
Early September.
So unless something happens again where it gets delayed, more than likely the Destiny update, the expansion will be out early September.
Yep.
There's no way, even with your weirdo September release date for Xbox Series X, there is no way that Xbox Series X is going to come out before the Destiny update, and also no way that Microsoft, even if it was coming out in September, Microsoft would not release the Halo Infinite before the new launch of the console, right?
No,
so
there's going to be
right. That's right. It's November. It's going to be November, man.
What's up, Rob Jones? You think November? Okay, one of the systems is probably going to be November, just not both of them. Listen, we can get into this again at any point that you want.
We don't have to talk about it now.
Yeah, we can do a strict show on just when we think this stuff's going to happen, because you seem to have this huge difference of opinion than I have, which I'm sitting there like,
it's not just me, right? It's like the entire world.
That's because you got a bunch of frauds following you. That's all that is. They just
you heard it here. 24 people watching. Forte says if you don't think that the Xbox Series X is coming out in September, then you're a fraud.
That's called you trying.
That's what you just said.
You're right. I retract that. Whoever you are just misinformed at this point. If you think that's the case,
you can't retract it. This clip is going to be clipped. It's going to be a 5-second clip of you saying that.
All right, Tip is in the middle. He said October. He said October. I think it's September. I'm sorry.
October's fine. October is fine.
Early October, if anything. Not late.
It doesn't have to be early. October is fine, but I think early November makes a lot of sense. Get it out there. It's before the Black Friday rush, so that all the parents going to get their PlayStations and their Xboxes or whatever for
I'm willing.
Look, they can go out there on Black Friday and do it, whatever.
I got a lot of predictions out there. I got this system coming out in September. I got one of these systems being a good $600. I'm gonna win something. Something gonna happen for me good.
You're like really trying with all these really out there bold predictions and thinking just like
and slow-mo.
One of those gotta hit, and it's like more than likely you're just gonna go home broke. That's just it's none of them are going to hit. You keep putting everything on black and it keeps coming up red. All right, man. I'm just telling you. Look, it's.
I thought everything's supposed to be on black right now, Slomo.
What are you talking? Okay. Let's move forward.
So
Marvel Avengers live stream war table thing. Did you watch that?
yeah, most of it.
Ooh, Lucas said Forte's predictions are like his attendance.
What's my attendance? What's attendance are you talking about here, Mel? Oh, she talking about attendance in Destiny, like when she needs me or something. Oh Lord, here we go.
Attendance and everything. My bad. Avengers. Let's see here. They showed a trailer initially with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. For those, and Miss Marvel's not in the MCU. She is only in the comics so far. A inhuman character that is young teenager, pretty popular in the Marvel comics. Although there is the whole, she's pretty polarizing because she is a Muslim and a person of color. So you know how that goes. But she seems to be the main character, which we kind of knew already. That kind of came out after everything. I've always said that I don't like the way Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics have been marketing this game because it's almost like a bait and switch. And kind of two issues that I had with how they've been marketing it. They showed that initial tutorial mission for way too long.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, like kept showing the same like footage over and over and over again. Like people, look, that it didn't even look good. And you keep showing it. Show us something else that makes us excited for this game. And then she's like the main character, and you don't even tell anyone that until it's like less than a year before launch. It's just like, what are you hiding that for? Are you hiding from the bigots? Because they're going to find out eventually. So there's all those issues that I've had with it. That said, I did like the gameplay though. And I know some people are like, well, everyone that's played it said it's boring and it sucks. I'm like, and I get that. From what I saw, I saw the skill trees. I saw how you can put on different gear, and it changes the way your hero looks as well as how you fight. And I'm like, this is kind of stuff that sells me. So I'm in. What about you, man?
It's another loot game. Jesus, I was hoping it wasn't gonna be another loot game.
They said that from the very start, though. They said that when they announced.
I wasn't expecting like that. What I saw was once I started seeing customization and armor changing and stuff like that, I was like, "Oh Lord, this is another loot game. It's legit another loot game." But
Your 10% of the chat said the frame rate on the video also looked rough.
Whoa. Okay, so first of all, yes, that 1 hour. And first of all, what's up with them it's not like we got to sit there for 30 minutes for us to find out what the heck you're talking about. You literally put up this screen that says we got to wait 30 more minutes after you announce the time of your live stream. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then after we sit there, we watched it, then we got to sit through this gigantic trailer that you just keep repeating. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, what is this stuck on repeat? Why do you keep showing the same thing over and over again? It's like they don't have enough footage, which is kind of scary to me. I'm like, this game literally releases in less than 4 months.
Right, that's true.
Why are we seeing the same thing? And supposedly this game is supposed to be huge. I learned a long time ago from other games. If they only show you a little bit, that's because the game only has a little bit.
That's not necessarily true, because if you remember with God of War, even though they eventually showed us like 9 minutes of footage of the game, we really only saw Kratos in one area of the game, and that game wasn't.
But like, God of War is different because it wasn't a new IP. You already know when you play a God of War game. What's up, Saudi? You already know when you play a God of War game, the breadth and scope that they're going to put into the game. They don't ever really dive deep into like how big the game actually is.
Okay, maybe that was a bad example. But all I'm saying is that
something that's not new, because this is like a new. I mean, technically, even though it's based off of intellectual property, it's a new IP, and you kind of need to let us know, like, how big is this game really?
Yeah, I kind of had the thought that when they initially weren't really showing us too much of the game, I thought they were kind of doing what Naughty Dog has done with The Last of Us 2, which is they didn't really want to show too much because of story reasons. Like they didn't want to kind of reveal too much of the story. And especially considering how Miss Marvel is the main character of the storyline, it just seemed like they didn't even show her in the initial trailer. How do you not show the main character in the initial trailer?
That's interesting, but
it's just like, why? So it's just, yeah, I see what you mean. I just kind of feel like they didn't want to, they were trying to hide too many things, and that could be, like you said, it's a bad reason why they're trying to hide it, because the game is trash and what they show is the only stuff that looks halfway decent, or it just could be they wanted to hide the story. I don't know, man.
When you trying to hide, listen, when you try to hide a story in a movie, a video game that's based on it's not based exactly on a movie, but it's based on movie characters with comic books. At this point,
ooh, I got some. When you finish that point, I got something real spicy to talk about. Go ahead.
It's like when you do this, it's like, unless, I mean, they did say that this is his own original view of what they're doing. It's not based on anything. It's the simple fact that even when we go into a movie about these characters, we kind of have a synopsis on what it actually is we're doing. Like we have a bit, we have an idea of the scope. Once we saw the first Iron Man and we saw the very end and they started talking about the Avengers and stuff, the whole world of the MCU opened up before we even got, even before they even thought about even showing us anything about Avengers. We just instantly knew the whole story of where this could go. No one probably expected it to be as big as it actually ended up being, 23 movies long before we got to the end of it, but you knew what the end of that was. It was just how they're going to get there.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you don't know where this game is going.
Yeah, what is this game doing? It's like,
okay, I'll explain.
Right now, it just looks like a loop game to me.
That actually goes right to my next point that I said that was going to be a little spicy. So I do got a little smoke for Crystal Dynamics for it, and I somewhat understand why they did it, but essentially this storyline is about the Inhumans, the AIM organization, the evil AIM organization. They're like Hydra and the Winter Soldier and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're like Hydra, except they're a lot more nerdy. AIM is trying to experiment on all the Inhumans, and the Inhumans need to be protected, and they're being like kind of like treated differently, and there's prejudice and stuff going on. And so essentially that's the X-Men storyline. They basically, because the Inhumans don't really deal with that. If you look at the Inhumans throughout comics, and man, my nerd hat is back on again, but you look through the Inhumans, they haven't really dealt with this kind of stuff. They got a lot of internal politics going on among them. That kind of the world hates us for who we are stuff. That's all X-Men. That's the X-Men's bag. But when Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix got the license to do this game some 3-4 years ago, what did Disney and Marvel not have? Fox.
They didn't have Fox.
They didn't have the rights, I don't believe. Or it was some kind of gray area, it seems, because even with some of the like the Capcom X-Men, Marvel versus Street Fighter, whatever games, X-Men were missing. So it seemed like, and even we kind of figured from comic book fans figured Disney was trying their best to ignore all the properties they couldn't make movies off of. Absolutely. So even if they could have used them, they weren't trying to, because they weren't trying to give Fox some ammo to make a movie off of. And so that's why it is. But I still don't like trying to substitute Inhumans for X-Men, because when they're all said and done, they're not acting like the Inhumans, and you can't just shoehorn them into an X-Men kind of storyline. So whatever, it's weird. That's like my really only real complaint with it is just, man, the story doesn't seem to work for me. But
I think that's what it is for me. It's like, so I'll get into my other thing. I played this game a year ago when I got a chance to play a demo of it, and It basically takes place at the parade at the parade day, and with the ships and everything, with the the trailer they showed over and over and over again for the last couple of years. So you get a chance to play that, and you get a chance to play with all the characters and stuff. And for me, it just felt like the one thing I hate the most in the game is when you go to do an action and they feel like there's no weight behind it whatsoever. When you play God of War and you swing your axe, you feel like you're swinging an axe at something, and when you hit it, it gives you that feel in the controller. It also gives you that feel in just the way the camera moves and reacts to what you're doing, that you're actually landing a blow on something. I was playing this game and I felt none of that. It was like it was like this out-of-body experience in playing a game that actually had combat that was very visceral and melee, especially when you play with the Hulk. You feel like you should be feeling what's happening with the Hulk. I mean,
I will say I liked what I saw from the Hulk, especially that like co-op gameplay.
Well,
where
it
had
looks
Hulk
good.
And Thor fighting that big machine, and Thor's hitting it with the lightning and calling the lightning down and hitting it with the hammer, and then Hulk ripped off one of his legs and started bashing him with it. I mean, like it looked good to me.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. If it looked good to you, but how would you feel? See, looking at it and playing it is two different things. What happens if you play that and you're interacting with the game like that, but when you're doing it, it feels like paperweight thin when you're doing it?
Oh, so like basically, you mean gameplay wise? Like I press one button and it's automatically doing all that cool stuff?
Yes.
I would have a problem with that.
And that's what I was having a problem with.
So when you played it, that's what it was like. You press one button and it's like Thor's doing like 6 combos, calling lightning down, killing 6 people, and then smirking the whole time. Like that's
not to that extent, because I think a lot of the combos weren't built into the game yet when we did our demo. It was pretty much like a hack and slash at that point, where you just you keep hitting one button, you keep going in that direction, but you didn't feel any type of physical weight behind the character when you did it. It was just like you're moving your character. It was like no resistance when you're going forward through stuff. Like I said,
so you needed a little bit more haptic feedback in the control.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I mean, that's probably something they just didn't feel like they needed to have there at the demo.
I'm sorry, you're showing your game off for the first time that people's going to be hyping your game up to a bunch of other people. And remember, this game was supposed to come out earlier in the year. Remember, it got delayed into September.
So when did you play it?
In August
of last year. August last year. And it was supposed to come out in like
February,
March.
See, somewhere in there, first quarter, first half of the year.
Yeah, and then it got delayed to April or May, and then got delayed again to September.
It got delayed to September. So to me,
man, this is really not.
Yeah, so to me, when I played it, I was like, this game is coming out soon. And like you said, Slomo, if this was something that I knew, like if I would have played this in August of last year and I knew it was coming out in September, I would think just like you were thinking, like, oh, they just didn't have time to put that into the game yet. We're playing a demo. But when I'm thinking of a game that literally releases in less than 8 to 9 months, you're pretty much playing a beta build of the game at this part with probably just a lot of bugs in it. And we're just looking for them to fix it more. Now, granted, they pushed it and delayed it more than once. They did it twice, actually. So they could have put a lot of that stuff in the game that I didn't like the most about it. I did like the way the game played. I just didn't like the way the game felt and the interactions between NPCs or just combatants in the game with the different characters. Everybody felt the same. If I hit you with a punch with Iron Man, it felt like it was the same type of feedback that I was getting, like I was hitting you with Hulk. I shouldn't feel that. It should be completely different. The only thing that felt different was if you were with Iron Man and you were flying, because he's the only one that can fly.
Thor can fly.
No, Thor can fly now. Yeah, you wasn't able to fly. He was basically just jumping real high and stuff and going from building to building. He didn't. Iron Man was the only one you could fly with in the demo. And Hulk was the one that basically was like the brute. He was just destroying everything. And Thor was more of an in-betweener. He just did it's like they still were developing the combos that they want to do with the character. So I'm willing to give them a pass on that. But that's always stuck in my head ever since August of last year, that I hope they fix the feedback in this game, because the feedback is one of the things that you need in a type of game like this, where you're literally punching things. It's just like with Destiny. The reason you play it is for the gunplay. If the guns don't feel good, if they don't feel to the point where you actually feel like you're pulling a trigger and popping something's head off, there's something wrong there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can understand that. Although I do think, as far as how they feel, as far as like different characters, did you see how they were showing how, like, for example, Miss Marvel is more of a ranged character?
Yes, I did see that.
And then, so like, it seems like you can have Hulk as your tank, and then, you know, your Black Widow would be more of your.
They specialize the roles.
Yeah, they made it very specialized, so that like if you have a certain kind of style or a particular way you like to play your games, then there's going to be a character there for you that you probably will gravitate more towards and play that character more than others. And I think that's pretty good, especially considering how they're all very diverse characters to begin with. I want to shout out something Gregor Von Doom said in the chat. He said, to fight robots, Dr. Doom should be the villain, especially in a loot grinding game. Fighting Doom bots that look and fight like Dr. Doom is more interesting than bland robots. I agree with that.
I do agree with that.
Why didn't they just use Dr. Doom? They probably didn't have rights to him when they started this game. This goes back to why they're using the X-Men storyline with the Inhumans, because Fox also had the Fantastic Four and an extension of that, Dr. Doom.
You know what?
And
Shin said something really good. He said that's why xCloud is lacking the feel. No Rumble made me crazy. And you know what? That might be it too, because there was no Rumble feedback in these controllers, and that just kind of made it even worse. Like, I don't like using Rumble in games, but that's only when I'm playing first-person shooters, because it throws off your aim when you're playing PvP sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But in a game like this, I have to have that feedback, because it kind of lets me know that what I'm doing is actually doing something, versus, because sometimes you don't want to just look at the bar on a screen to see that you made contact with something. It's like you want to have that feel like I just hit something, and I wasn't getting that in the game. It might just be because there was no feedback in the game through Rumble and everything. So this game looks really interesting. I also think this game would have did way better earlier in the year if we didn't have all this other stuff going on, because there has been such a absence of just theatrical releases around Marvel, where the game is kind of off on its own right now, versus like we were supposed to have Black Widow by now. We were supposed to have a couple other things coming out by now. And now it looks like by the time we get to this is like the next thing we're getting from Marvel. And I don't know how people are going to kind of feel about it, because they're not going to be on that ultimate Marvel high that everybody was on last year, due to how Endgame ended and how the transgressions of all that movie played out. So that put Marvel on a whole other map, and people were just playing everything. We do have the Iron Man VR game, but that's such a small section of gamers, because everybody doesn't have VR. Even if you do have a PlayStation, you probably don't have a VR, because it's not that many of them out there. That would be a good kick for some people. I'm just hoping that the game gives us a story that we can remember more than just 5 minutes of it, because that's what's going to keep you playing the game when it comes to a loot grind game like that. Because
I agree. I agree completely.
It's just not the loot. Like, the loot is. Yeah. The loot's fun, but it's not everything. I have to have a reason to go back.
You gotta have another reason outside of chasing the loot. The game, you gotta have fun with what you're doing,
right?
As well as chasing the loot. Chasing the loot is the goal. That's the reason why you're doing it. But you don't want it to be boring while you're doing it. That makes it so people don't want to chase the loot anymore. They feel like this isn't worth it. I gotta stop. This is a lot of loot shooters have this issue, and this technically is going to be a loot shooter, considering it's a loot-based game, and they said they're going to. It's a game as a service kind of game. They're going to be adding additional content, that kind of stuff. All right, you're in that loot shooter genre now. Congratulations. And in that genre, every single developer that has come into this genre has faced this issue where they have not delivered compelling content for the gamers to feel like you never want to think to yourself, I'm just doing the same content over and over again, and this is boring. Right. That's when you've lost the player, and then the chase for the loot is just no longer worth it. And that's where they really gonna need to strike that balance. They gotta find something in it that's fun enough to keep you going. Like I just booted up the Division 2 again today for the first time in a long time, and because, well, not that long, it's been a few weeks, but essentially because they got new operators for me to hunt down and take out. And it's like, that's the only thing that I really find interesting and fun to do in the Division. The loot sucks compared to the first game. So I don't really play it like that anymore. And so it's just, I don't care about the loot. I just care about hunting these guys down and knocking them out. And they gotta find something that keeps it more compelling. Like find some kind of activity or game mode that can be played multiple times and still have a fresh, interesting experience out of it that can get people to keep coming back.
They still haven't added like survival to Division 2, have they?
No, and they're not going to. They told us back in January that they had no plans of doing so, and that really pissed a lot of people off. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, why would you not institute a very successful mode that you had from the first game? It's just dumb. That's like Funky saying we're not going to do raids in Destiny 2. Like, are you stupid? What's wrong with you? But like having your point about having a great storyline. This is the difference between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3.
Oh,
because when it comes to guns and loot, they match the gunplay, or they match Borderlands 2 and everything. The difference was the antagonist. Those two twins can't even hold Handsome Jack's face mask. Like they're nowhere near as great a villain as he is. The story is nowhere near as good, and therefore, like going through the same content over and over again, trying to get that drop of that legendary gun or that legendary piece of mod or whatever you wanted. It's very difficult to keep going through that when you don't like the content and you hate hearing those stupid twins' voices.
Yeah, man. And the funny thing is, it's like, you hit that right on the head, because this goes back to my whole Mass Effect thing. Like, a lot of people didn't like it, like Mass Effect Andromeda, due to all the glitches the game had in it. The glitches I could have looked by. The fact is, when you are trained and brought up on a storyline over three games, you have antagonist after antagonist after antagonist, but they all kind of tie together. And then you got the collectors, you got Cerberus, you got the Reapers, and then you even got the human element when it comes down to the way that the game is portrayed in. So it's like it hit on so many different levels, whereas everything was a threat. It was you and your team versus everything in the galaxy. And you built that up over 3 games. And for that to disappear in the 4th game, and granted, it had to disappear. That's why I felt like every game doesn't need a sequel. As much as I love Mass Effect, if they were going to do what they did with Mass Effect Andromeda, I'd rather not have been the Mass Effect game.
I disagree. I don't think everything had to disappear. I just think that
I didn't think everything. I said if you was going to have everything disappear like it did, it didn't need to be another Mass Effect game. That's what.
That's true. If that didn't have the name Mass Effect on it, it may have had a different reaction out of the gaming community, because it was being challenged. It was being compared to greatness. It was compared to a great trilogy that was written wonderfully, and it didn't have any of the people that wrote that trilogy.
Right, exactly.
And the characters were not as interesting. None of them were. The story wasn't as interesting, and the villain just plain out sucked. And so if it was just called Andromeda and that was it, that was the full name, Andromeda, no Mass Effect, and you just said, hey, like, here's some humans escaping from some catastrophe in the Milky Way. Let's not talk about what that is. Here they are going off
Right.
as explorers in this new land, and you had, the way the game looked, which is Frostbite, so of course it plays like shit, but it looks great. So it looked great. And then, and you had all these bugs and whatnot, but like people wouldn't have been comparing the Ryder twins to Shepard. People wouldn't have been comparing that stupid villain whose name I can't even remember to Saren, to, I mean, all the villains that popped up and all throughout Mass Effect 3. I mean, not 3, but the entire trilogy. And it's just, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like, I to go to what I was going to say about what they should have did, was they should have made the ending where Shepard takes a breath at the very last moment canon. Made that canon.
The ending, that's the one I got when I did it.
Right, yeah, that should have been the canon ending. If you didn't get the ending, you didn't get the real ending. Blah blah blah. But like, don't carry over choices then forward. Start fresh, but then have it like the crew is then trying to reconnect because all of the relays have exploded. So there's no way to really get, quickly to one another. Like, basically have different threats and a new galaxy with post Reaper threat where things are different. They could have come up with so many different ways to really handle that. And then make that like the starting point to kind of getting into what the main threat of a new trilogy would be. That would have been great.
Yeah, I think no, and that's true. And I don't want to go because it seems like we always get on the Mass Effect tangent because it's like the most disappointing thing ever.
Right.
But no, I agree. I just think the biggest thing is, like you said, I always go back to what Quentin Tarantino said in an interview, and like what you just said about just call it Andromeda and say we just got away from this place that bad things happened at. That could have been literally a game made by BioWare, the makers of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and they just called it Andromeda. And then it could have been something like later on down the line when they do interviews, like Casey Hudson does interviews and stuff, and talk about his thought process on why they made Andromeda.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there when.
He wasn't there then. But I'm saying, whoever just come out and say why they made it, and like Quentin Tarantino said, he did an interview and literally broke down how all his movies are tied together with each other.
Oh, Forte.
No. What?
I got another bombshell idea that they should have used. I'm good. The inspiration of this comes from Gregor. Check this out, right? Gregor said they should have let you choose which species your character was. Now, you remember, if you recall Dragon Age Origins, where you had 16 different origins, you could choose, the race of your character and their gender all determined what your origin was.
Yep.
What if they did the same thing in Andromeda? They had all these arcs with all these different races in each arc.
Sure did.
Chose, I want to be a Quarian. Then you would get the Quarian storyline, where your Quarian Pathfinder is the character that's like out there, and of course some things would be similar, like the villain's the same, and and all the other species that you're going up against, and then you're still allied with the other weird looking species with the caving chest. You know what I'm talking about? Like, but you would still do all those things. But as far as personally, your character has different characters that they talk to, and different side characters and different main storylines, personal storylines for them. And then you could do that for every single one. So if you want to be a human, you want to be a Krogan, you want to be a Sari, you want to be Quarian, you could have had all of that. And then that would have made the game so much more interesting, because then you got way more replayability. Because if you did one playthrough as a Quarian, you still haven't seen what it's like for a human yet, or for those small little guys. I can't remember their names that everyone laughs at.
Yeah.
With the,
you talk about the Krogers were small. I'm trying to think of the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. Although no one wants to play as them.
No, exactly. No, man, but that's what's up though. So Um, yeah, man. I mean, I guess we got Brap in 15 minutes, so we get ready to grind this one down. But do you have any? You know what? Let's speak on a little bit on this mixer thing, man. What do you think? We're gonna make this quick because we don't want to be running from one show to the other show because we know most of you guys are gonna meet us over there. So shout out to the 21. We had like 27 people at one point altogether. So shout out to you guys, 28 people. So shout out to you guys for coming through and supporting us once again. It's always amazing for you guys to do that, and definitely this won't be the last time we do it, and we want to keep on doing it. But yeah, before we wrap it up, man, what did you think about Mixer, man? Because I know we're gonna talk about it on another show, but let's give a quick synopsis on what we think about it here.
Okay, Mixer has been dead. They just found the body. That's all. It's been dead. Has been dead and missing for over a year, and it's just now, they got a tip. The body is in Lincoln Park, and the police went out there, found the body. Yep, it's exactly where they said it is. There's the Mixer. It's been decomposing for about 6 or 7 months. It's got bugs all over it. I think, what is that, a ninja? Is that some pink hair? I don't know what that is. But yeah, look. Mixer has been dead. This was they added Ninja, they added Shroud, they added the girl Ewok, something like
Ewoks,
that.
Yeah.
Ewok, they added King Athalion. They added like 5 different big time streamers from Twitch. And what did they do? 0.2% growth.
Yeah,
that's what it
is. Pretty bad.
That's pretty bad, and I don't blame those Twitch streamers. They did exactly what they always do. They did their same deal with a percentage of their community, because part of the reason why it didn't work is that I think it's that people just don't like the way Mixer looks. I know I don't. I can't stand the way Mixer.
I think Mixer's cool. I just don't think it's hard to move people from a platform like Twitch. It's just people. It's been, unless you're going to move massive amounts of people over and get like communities to move over, you're not going to move people off that platform. It's just,
right, and
all their friends and everything are on that platform. It's just like a console at this point.
They have communities on there. They're people that they talk to, and it's different, because it's like when I go on Twitch, I may be looking for like one person that I watch on Twitch, but then that's not the only person I watch on Twitch. I watch other people. If that one person I watch mainly on Twitch goes to Mixer, I might just get Mixer and get notifications when that person pops up, but I don't care about anyone else. This is why the blame for Mixer's death really falls on Mixer division, the management. And yes, also the racist managers who treat people like crap and think all their partners are slave drivers or slaves. Yes, I'm talking to you, Miss whatever the freak her name was. She sucks. She should be fired. I don't know why she ain't fired yet. That's the problem. That needs to get handled. She needs to be gone. But anyway, they should have done things like when Ninja came over, right? What they want is all the people that Ninja brought with him. They wanted those tens of thousands of people to then also watch everyone else that's on Mixer, their homegrown Mixer partners. And then you retain these people and you get growth, more hours watched, all that good stuff. But when they brought them over, they weren't trying to find collaborations like, hey, Ninja, why don't you team up when you play Apex Legends with iGypsy? No, you didn't do that. So now you didn't introduce iGypsy to these 10 to 15,000 people who watch Ninja every single time he streams. If you do a co-stream, which they do very well, they had that all that kind of stuff, that infrastructure stuff implemented very well within Mixer, but they missed opportunities. Gathalion plays Borderlands, plays Destiny. There's guys on Mixer that play Borderlands and Destiny. Why didn't you get these guys together? Find ways to grow some of these other streamers so that when Gathalion's not on, they may actually check out the other guy he played Destiny with. They didn't do any of that kind of work. Why are you running commercials for your commercials for your own platform while people are watching your platform?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of that?
Yeah, that's true. I never got that either.
It
They
was
already here.
yeah, man.
They're already here. Yeah, man. I can't really add too much more to that. It's disappointing, but it's something that most people knew was going to happen. I think streamers won in this regard because they got the bag. Ninja and Shroud basically took the buyout on their contract, didn't sign with Facebook, and still got paid all their money at midnight that night. Their contract was cleared out, and they could go wherever they want to go. I think Shroud might go back to Twitch because he was always loved on Twitch. Ninja's not going back to Twitch because of the whole thing that happened with his channel after he left Twitch. So I think he's going to end up on YouTube. He already got 25 million subscribers on YouTube. He might as well just bring his base over to YouTube and just go from there. Yeah. I am pretty happy that Gothalion stayed and went to Facebook, because the one thing I like about him the most, he's his own. I mean, not saying to say these other guys aren't their own man, but I think Gothalion, of all the people, when he says he's trying to build community, he already did that on YouTube. He already did that on Twitch. That's why the Destiny community is as big as it is. Because he built and fostered that community.
I get that, but there's a lot of people that just don't rock with Facebook. And I'm one of them. Like, I'm never going to watch him on Facebook.
That's fine.
I'm never going to do it. And so, like, he's guaranteed is going to lose. Now, he said he got like 12,000 follows.
Yeah.
On his stream today. He's going to get a whole new segment of people through Facebook. And so that probably will, at least for him, offset the people that he's going to lose from his community who just like, I'm sorry, I can't rock with Facebook. I'm not going to go to Facebook. But to kind of to Gregor's point, Gregor said that Ninja would host and promote small streamers, but I'm talking about like collaborating with them. Like, he plays games with them, and then they can kind of like see these other streamers' personality and say, oh, I kind of like this person. I'll watch this person. I'll follow this person too, because it's different. Because they even do that on Twitch. When you see a big streamer will like host some other smaller streamers, and like you most people kind of check out within the first 60 seconds. They don't really even give that person a chance to really show that they, maybe an interesting cat to actually watch play a game or do whatever that they do. So it's I think Facebook is, I think the whole deal for Ninja and Shroud is fine. They won. They got massive W's out of this. They got paid for a contract for years, and they got paid out that full contract in a way less period of time. And they get to go promote themselves and then go and get another bag on another platform. They don't even have to go back to Twitch. They could go to YouTube. They can still their exclusive right somewhere else. They're good. I feel bad for the smaller streamers that got over. The ones that don't like Facebook. And then, or their community have seconds of the community that don't like Facebook. Guaranteed, if they just take the deal to go to Facebook, they're short. Like they're going to be a smaller community trying to fight with people who are already on Facebook and trying to keep their community. And it's like you're already in a bad position, especially if you were a full-time streamer. And then, like, I've seen some of them just saying, "Forget Facebook. I'm not doing it. I'm going to Twitch." But Twitch, it ain't the one offering you a partnership right out the bat. So you're going to have to start all over again.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just, it sucks, man.
Yeah, it does. So, yeah, shout out to everybody. Really appreciate you coming through. We got 5 minutes until wrap, so we about to go jump off this so we can take a drink break or a bathroom break before we got to go over there for 2 hours and chop it up with the rest of the boys. Definitely. So really appreciate you guys coming through, man. It's been amazing. You guys have really showed out the last couple of weeks, and I really, truly appreciate that. So, Slomo, let's get up out of here, man. Tell these people where they can find you at.
Yo, you can find me on my YouTube channel, SlomoBackSlap. It's the same as I have it written under my marvelous icon. And my channel, my videos are about games of all platforms. Doesn't matter what platform they are, just as long as I find them interesting or fun or good, I do videos on them. Sometimes we even do deep dives on the developer if I find the time to do that. So yeah, check me out if you want. And yeah.
So I think he literally put that caveat in that announcement just so he didn't have to make a video on Grounded. Literally, that's why he
I
said.
say that every single time. I already told you I'm not doing the video on grounded.
All right, we're gonna let this grounded.
I wasn't even thinking about grounded. I was
Okay, we're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it go. So also on top of it, I guess I can't use his YouTube channel as my YouTube channel no more because you guys are on my YouTube channel. So check me out here, man. Destiny content, Xbox, all that type of stuff.
need to do more videos.
I do need to do more videos, man. That's coming, trust me. But yeah, man.
Get you to at least once a week. That's what I want to see. Okay,
once a week.
Once a week.
Okay, I can give you that.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Every Wednesday morning, you drop a video.
Every Wednesday morning.
Every Wednesday morning, you drop a video.
Okay. All right, man. If you all right, yeah. Okay, I'll do that because Slomo. I know you're gonna hold me to that. So yeah, we could. I'll do that.
Gregor said here's this is what to do for grounded. Just put a camera on the ground outside for stock footage and call the game trash.
Oh my God, Gregory, love you, man.
Oh man, I'm gonna take a picture of my backyard. That's grounded.
It is grounded. Zoom in on and take little. It just zoom in on the grass. All right, guys.
Moving.
Yeah, the grass moving. Yeah, that's not just the
graphics are amazing.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you over there on Brap in a couple of minutes, man. Thanks for coming out, man. Hit us up on all our social medias, and we'll catch you in the next video. You guys have a good night.
Peace.